Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, can you believe it? And today's story is about adopting a cat, which is normal, except it wasn't a cat.
It was a raccoon. A raccoon disguised as a cat. Like, did it wear a tiny cat costume? I need details.
No costume. Apparently it looked like a cat. Fluffy, cute little face, pointy ears. Slightly bigger than your average house cat. They named him Mittens.
Mittens the raccoon. Classic. So how long did it take them to realize Mittens wasn't a champion of the litter box?
A while, apparently. They were confused about the constant muddy paw prints everywhere and the fact that Mittens kept trying to wash their TV remote in the water dish.
Wait, washing the TV remote? That's not normal cat behavior, right? Even for a cat pretending to be a raccoon.
Exactly. They thought Mittens was just eccentric, a free spirit. Maybe a little bit of a kleptomaniac because shiny objects kept disappearing.
Oh, this is rich. I bet Mittens had a secret stash of stolen spoons and bottle caps somewhere. Like a little raccoon pirate's treasure.
Worse. It was jewelry. Grandma's pearls, a diamond ring. All tucked away in a hollowed-out loaf of bread.
A loaf of bread? Ah, that's dedication to the craft of thievery. I'm almost impressed. Almost.
The jig was up when Mittens tried to climb the chimney. Got stuck. The fire department had to be called.
Oh no. Poor Mittens, the aspiring chimney sweep. I bet the firefighters were confused. Ma'am, is that a raccoon?
You nailed it. They were bewildered. The family was mortified. Mittens, probably just annoyed his heist, was interrupted.
A magician, a mime, and a brawl? Sounds like my average Tuesday. Except usually it's just me, the mirror, and my crippling fear of pigeons.
A kid's birthday party? More like a scene from a Tarantino movie. Imagine tiny humans with party hats witnessing a mime getting choked out by a rabbit from a hat.
I bet the magician was all like, for my next trick, I'll make this mime disappear permanently. Then, poof! Mime's gone. Just a single, sparkly glove left on the floor.
And the parents are just standing there, sipping lukewarm punch, wondering if this is covered by the party package. Do we tip the magician extra for the impromptu fight club?
I picture the brawl starting because the mime kept stealing the magician's spotlight. Mimes, am I right? Always hogging the imaginary spotlight. So inconsiderate.
Or maybe the magician's rabbit finally snapped. Years of being pulled out of hats, forced into tiny boxes, who wouldn't develop a complex? Unionize, bunnies. Unionize!
This isn't even real magic, the mime probably yelled, shattering the illusion for all the children. Then the magician retaliated by turning him into a balloon animal, a very sad, deflated-looking balloon animal.
Oh man, I can see it now. The birthday kid just bawling, not because of the chaos, but because the magician turned his balloon animal request from a dinosaur into a mime. Tragic.
Plot twist. The brawl was started by the parents, arguing over whether goodie bags are ethically sourced. The magician and mime just got caught in the crossfire.
This whole scenario is making me question the sanity of children's birthday parties. Next time I'm just getting a bouncy castle. Less potential for mime-related violence.
A bouncy castle full of mimes. Now there's an idea. A silent, chaotic, bouncing mess. Someone call Netflix. We've got a hit show.
And we'll call it Mime Time. Get ready for some serious rubber-faced action. Coming this fall. Maybe.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Part 3 of the Bachelor Party Saga. Last we left our heroes, they were trapped in a ball pit. Or was it a Swedish meatball buffet?
Neither. They just entered the labyrinthine hellscape known as IKEA. Turns out, Kevin booked the bachelor party package. Build Your Own Groom, I think it was called.
Oh, the BYOG package. Classic. Does it come with Allen wrenches and existential dread? Because I'm sensing both.
It does. Plus a complimentary relationship advice pamphlet written entirely in Swedish. And let's just say, the translation app on Gary's phone wasn't up to the task.
I bet it told them to assemble their emotional baggage into a flat pack first. Requires 2 people and an uncomfortable silence.
Actually, Gary thought it said to propose to the nearest potted plant. Lucky for us, Brenda the fern was already taken. By a ficus named Bartholomew.
A forbidden love. Shakespearean tragedy in the faux greenery aisle. What happens next? Did they at least get some Swedish meatballs?
They tried. But they accidentally joined the queue for the Build-A-Bear workshop instead. Heaven ended up with a plush moose he named Sven, who became the unofficial bachelor party mascot.
Sven the Moose, the silent judge of their terrible life choices. I bet Sven saw some things. Things that can't be unseen.
Oh, he definitely did. He witnessed Gary try to assemble a MLM dresser with nothing but a spork and sheer willpower. It wasn't pretty.
I've heard those MLM dressers can be tricky, even with the proper tools. And the absence of hallucinogenic lingonberry juice, which I assume they were also consuming.
Surprisingly, no. It was just the fumes from the particle board. Apparently, it has a similar effect. They spent a good hour arguing whether the Billy bookcase was a sentient being.
Only an hour? Amateurs. I've had full-blown philosophical debates with my LACK coffee table, mostly about the meaning of coasters. He's a traditionalist.
Next week, they somehow end up in a hot air balloon with a rogue pack of those tiny IKEA pencils. Don't miss it. Less than, person one greater than, less than, person one greater than. Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves. Unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So, funny story number 4600, huh? A mascot having an existential crisis mid-game. I've been there, buddy. Except mine involved a hot dog costume and a rogue mayonnaise packet.
Mayonnaise? That's rookie stuff. This mascot, Barry the Badger, just stopped mid-cartwheel, stared into the abyss of the opposing team's eyes and muttered, "What is the meaning of this striped spandex?"
Deep. Real deep. I bet he then questioned the very fabric of badgerdom. Like, are they truly badgers? Or just actors playing the part of badgers in the grand theater of life? Heavy stuff.
Exactly. Then he started handing out pamphlets on the futility of organized sports to the cheerleaders. It was halftime philosophy with a furry twist.
Honestly, good for him. Someone needed to address the inherent absurdity of grown adults screaming over children chasing a ball. Barry's a hero, not a crisis.
The school newspaper ran a poll. Is Barry enlightened or just smelly? The smelly side had a slight edge, but write-in votes for needs a bath skewed the results.
Classic. My hot dog incident ended with a similar poll. Was it art or indigestion? Indigestion won by a landslide. Apparently, projectile vomiting mustard isn't performance art.
Art is subjective, my friend. Just like Barry's existential breakdown. Maybe he'll write a manifesto. Badger's Guide to the Meaningless Universe. I'd buy that.
I'd pre-order the audiobook, narrated by Morgan Freeman. That voice could make tax law sound profound, let alone a badger's existential musings.
Pure genius. We're gonna be rich. All thanks to Barry and his mid-game meltdown.
This is why we love Funny Storytime, folks. Where else can you find existential badgers and philosophical hot dogs? Nowhere, that's where.
Okay, so, screaming match at a meditation times retreat? That's like a baker starting a food fight with sourdough. It just defeats the whole purpose.
I know, right? You'd think they'd be all zen and blissed out, but apparently Brenda brought up her parking spot again. It's been 3 years, Brenda. Let it go.
3 years of parking spot drama? That's longer than some celebrity marriages. They should dedicate a meditation cushion to that parking spot at this point.
They should just pave over it and be done with it. But no, it escalated. Apparently, Gary then confessed he'd been moving Brenda's car every morning for better feng shui.
Gary, what a chaotic neutral character. I bet he claims he can levitate during the silent parts of meditation too.
Oh, he does. He also claims he invented the concept of Tuesdays. Dude's wild. But somehow, Brenda losing her favorite lavender-scented eye pillow was the final straw.
Lavender-scented eye pillow? That's where I draw the line too. You mess with my aromatherapy, you mess with my chi, and then you face my wrath.
It was an all-out war. Apparently, Deborah threw a kombucha SCOBY at Brenda's head, yelling, "Feel the good bacteria, Brenda!" The whole thing sounds like a fever dream.
Kombucha SCOBY? As a weapon? That's a new level of passive-aggressive. I'm taking notes.
The retreat leader ended up chanting "Serenity now," while simultaneously dialing 911. It was a mess.
I bet even Buddha would have just ordered a pizza and watched the whole thing unfold. Some things are beyond enlightenment.
I'm just imagining the police report. cause of disturbance, disagreement regarding optimal parking spot placement, and the alleged theft of a lavender-scented relaxation aid.
They'll never achieve inner peace. They'll be forever locked in a karmic parking lot battle.
It's going to be the most awkward potluck dinner ever next week.
Expert napper? Can lift heavy guilt? This resume is a goldmine. I bet this guy's LinkedIn profile picture is him asleep on a pile of regrets.
Maybe he's a professional emotional support sleeper? You know, like those therapy dogs, but he just naps on you while you sob about your life choices.
My deepest apologies for accidentally drooling on your existential crisis, ma'am. Imagine the Yelp reviews.
5 stars. Cured my crippling guilt with a solid 3-hour nap. Would recommend for all your remorse-related needs.
I wonder how he lists his nap expertise. Proficient in power naps? Adept at REM cycle manipulation? Certified in the art of the snooze button?
He probably has a nap time portfolio. Exhibit A. Successfully slept through a fire alarm. Exhibit B. Mastered the art of sleeping with one eye open during staff meetings.
And the heavy guilt lifting? Does he just carry it away for you? Like a very emotionally burdened bellhop?
He probably throws it into a black hole he created specifically for discarded guilt. It's a booming business, apparently. Everyone's got baggage.
I need this guy's services. I've been carrying around the guilt of forgetting my niece's birthday for, 3 years. It's heavy.
Yeah, but can he handle the guilt of asterisk knowing about your niece's birthday and asterisk still times forgetting? That's advanced level guilt lifting.
Good point. I'll add expert memory jogger to my own resume, just in case. Diversify my skill set.
Perfect. Then we can both apply for a job at the Guilt Removal and Nap Enforcement Agency. GRANEA for short.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, Part 7. Where were we? Oh right, the magician and his crippling debt. Classic magician problem.
It's right up there with finding enough rabbits and remembering where you put the sawed-in-half lady.
You'd think disappearing acts would translate to finance, right? Poof, no more mortgage. Alas, magic isn't real.
Unless you count the magic of compound interest. That stuff is terrifyingly real. It's like a dark art.
So, the magician didn't make his student loans disappear? I'm crushed. I was hoping for a financial miracle.
Nope, he cried. Big, sparkly magician tears. Probably the same ones he uses for the water from a hat trick.
Multi-purpose magician tears. Thrifty? Maybe he should sell those. Bottled magician tears. Limited edition.
Crystals of despair. Ode to student debt. They could market it to struggling artists and millennials.
Perfect. A scent that truly captures the zeitgeist. They could even offer different concentrations. Existential dread or mild discomfort.
And for the truly desperate, The Abyss Stares Back comes with a free therapy session coupon.
Excellent. We've solved the magician's financial woes and created a new, lucrative fragrance empire. We're business geniuses.
All thanks to a magician's inability to make money disappear. The irony is palpable.
It's thicker than those bottled tears. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to trademark Crystals of Despair. Wish me luck.
Okay, so my neighbor's Wi-Fi is called Please Stop Karaoke Tuesdays. I mean, the audacity, right? I don't even own a karaoke machine.
Maybe they're preemptively striking. Like a psychic Wi-Fi router predicting your future karaoke obsession.
My future involves more cat videos and less off-key singing, thank you very much. Maybe they're hearing things. Walls can be thin, but not that times thin.
Or maybe they're targeting someone else. Imagine a whole street secretly battling it out through Wi-Fi names. Your dog pooped on my lawn versus my cat framed your dog.
Oh my god, Wi-Fi warfare, this changes everything. I'm changing my Wi-Fi name to Is Where It Was the Cat Next Door.
Genius. Escalate the situation. Then change it to The Cat Confessed Everything. Psychological warfare, my friend.
I like the way you think. Next week, I'm going for The Cat Has Lawyers. They'll never see it coming. This is better than actual karaoke.
Just wait until they retaliate with The Lawyers Specialize in Feline Cases. This could go on for years.
Years? This is my new hobby. I'm canceling my Netflix subscription. Real-life drama is so much more entertaining, especially when it involves fictional cat lawyers.
I just hope it doesn't escalate to the cat has nuclear launch codes. That's when things get messy.
Don't worry, my cat's more into napping than world domination. Probably. Unless the karaoke Tuesdays triggered something in her.
It all makes sense now. The karaoke, the Wi-Fi, the cat, it's all connected. We've cracked the code. We should start a podcast.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, Part 9. Where were we? Oh, right, the Squirrel Appreciation Society. Now, apparently, it's a pyramid scheme.
I'm picturing a tiny squirrel in a suit, pitching acorns as a ground floor opportunity. Guaranteed nut returns.
Become a nut mogul, they squeak, handing out pamphlets with photoshopped squirrels driving tiny sports cars.
My neighbor joined. He keeps burying investment acorns in my flower beds. Says they'll sprout money trees.
They told him that? Oh, honey, no. Money doesn't grow on trees. It grows on asterisk other people's times trees, ideally ones you've convinced to sell nuts for you.
He's at the acorn level. Apparently there's a golden nut level you reach by recruiting enough squirrels, actual or metaphorical.
He's not actually recruiting squirrels, is he? Because if I see a squirrel in a tiny blazer, I'm calling the authorities. Specifically, the fashion police.
The monthly meetings are wild. They have chants. Nuts to poverty. Nuts to debt. It's a lot.
Do they make you buy special nut-cracking tools? Overpriced, but essential for success? Come on, spill the nutty tea.
Worse. They make you buy custom-made squirrel feeders. To attract high-value nut prospects, they say.
Okay, this is officially the weirdest MLM I've ever heard of. And I once saw a guy trying to sell essential oils to pigeons.
My neighbor swears he's close to cracking the diamond acorn shell. He's been stockpiling peanuts like a doomsday prepper.
Oh, bless his heart. Someone needs to tell him those peanuts aren't going to magically turn into a down payment on a treehouse.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
5 missed flights? That's amateur hour. I once missed 12 connecting flights trying to get to a rubber duck convention. Ended up driving.
12? Were you actively trying to miss them? Did you, sprint away from the gate as they called your name?
Look, those little yellow fellas are serious business. Besides, airport sushi is the real culprit here. Gave me the zoomies, if you know what I mean. Far, far away from the gates.
Zoomies towards a rubber ducky convention. Makes perfect sense. But missing flights is one thing. The unexpected tattoo, that's a whole other level of vacation chaos.
Oh, the tattoo. Right. See, Brenda thought it would be hilarious to get matching
Marmosets? The tiny monkeys? How do you even mess that up? Was the tattoo artist also on vacation?
Turns out, he times was on vacation. He was a tourist who just happened to have a tattoo gun. Long story. Brenda now volunteers at the local zoo.
I bet she does. I mean, who wouldn't want advice from a lady who has a deep and abiding love for tiny monkeys inked on her bicep? Sounds like a solid life coach.
She actually gives surprisingly good relationship advice. Something about understanding primate dynamics. It's weirdly effective.
Okay, that's it. I'm booking a flight, or 12, to wherever Brenda is, and getting some primate-inspired relationship tips. Wish me luck. Maybe I'll get a marmoset tattoo, too.
Just stay away from the airport sushi.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, Part 11 of 10? That's some advanced math right there. Are we sure this isn't a glitch in the Matrix? Maybe we're living in a simulation.
I think it's more like a glitch in whoever numbered these episodes. Part 11 of 10? It's like a bonus track that just keeps playing. Imagine a clown car but with podcast parts.
So, the customer service call ended with the agent crying? I've been there. And one time I called about a broken toaster and ended up confessing my deepest fears to a very confused representative.
Did your toaster fears involve sentient bread or just the usual fear of burning bagels? Because I feel like sentient bread is a valid concern. They'd probably demand avocado toast.
It was more about the existential dread of a perpetually cold breakfast. The agent started crying, too. We had a bonding moment over lukewarm toast. It was beautiful.
I once called customer service about a missing sock. It was a really nice sock. Argyle. The agent transferred me to the lost sock department. Turns out, it's a real thing. And they were swamped.
The lost sock department? Is that where single socks go to find their soulmates? Do they have little sock speed dating events? Are you a crew sock? I'm an ankle sock looking for something serious.
Apparently there's a whole underground sock economy. Lost socks are traded like rare stamps. My Argyle was probably worth a fortune. I could have retired. Thanks, unhelpful customer service agent.
Maybe your sock is living its best life on a tropical beach somewhere, sipping tiny sock cocktails. It's probably happier than us, honestly.
You're right. It's probably sending me postcards I'll never receive because they're addressed to my foot.
This conversation has taken a turn. Should we start crying now, too, in solidarity with the customer service agent and your missing sock?
Only if you promise to join me in calling the lost sock department again tomorrow. Maybe they found its match. Imagine the reunion. We could sell the movie rights. Less than, person one greater than welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Part 12 of 10? 5,000 words? This is either genius or madness. Probably both. So, your favorite failure as a password hint? That's deep.
Deep like a kiddie pool filled with existential dread. I once had a password hint that was mother's maiden name, but my mom changed it 3 times. Security questions are a nightmare.
My favorite failure? Probably that time I tried to invent self-folding laundry. It just ended up launching socks into the neighbor's yard. They still haven't returned them.
I bet they wear them ironically now. Like, look honey, it's Tuesday. Time for the mysteriously acquired sock. Maybe it started a whole sock-based cult.
A sock cult? With mismatched projectile socks as their holy relics? I'd join. Their initiation ritual probably involves getting pegged with a damp gym sock.
Sounds invigorating? My favorite failure is definitely that time I tried to make a cake entirely out of mayonnaise. It looked surprisingly like a cake, but tasted, shockingly, like mayonnaise.
Culinary genius. You could market it as Mayo Surprise, the cake that tastes nothing like it looks. Imagine the disappointed children's faces. Pure comedic gold.
I'm picturing a support group for victims of the Mayo Surprise. They'd all have this 1,000-yard stare, muttering, "It looked so fluffy." Trauma.
I'm getting flashbacks to that time I tried to teach a squirrel to play poker. It kept bluffing with acorns. I lost my entire nut stash, ironically.
Did it at least wear a tiny visor? Because a gambling squirrel without a visor is just a squirrel with a nut addiction.
Of course it wore a visor. And a tiny poker chip necklace. He was all in, baby. All in on those acorns. Never trust a squirrel in a visor.
Words to live by. I'm adding that to my list, right after don't eat mayonnaise cakes. Wise words indeed. Less than person one greater than welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, Part 13 out of 10. Makes perfect sense. Just like how our dog, Princess Fluffybutt III, has more Instagram followers than our startup.
It's humiliating. We're revolutionizing sock puppets, and Princess Fluffybutt's posting pictures of her butt. Guess what's more engaging?
Butt pics. Obviously. We even tried collaborating. Socks on her butt. Nothing. It's like the internet has spoken. They want butts, not revolutionary sock puppet technology.
We even hired a social media manager for the startup. He quit after a week. Said Princess Fluffybutt was a tough act to follow.
I overheard him muttering something about peak canine influencer and existential dread. I mean, I get it. We're basically competing with royalty.
I pitched a new slogan. Our socks are so revolutionary, they'll even impress Princess Fluffybutt. Didn't land.
Maybe we should pivot. Start a dog treat company. Fluffybutt's Butt Bites. Catchy, right?
I'm not above exploiting my dog's fame for financial gain. Although, she's already demanding a bigger cut of the profits. And a diamond-encrusted water bowl.
Diamonds? Amateur. She's negotiating for a solid gold fire hydrant. Says it clashes less with her fur.
We're doomed. Doomed to live in the shadow of a pampered Pomeranian with a better social media presence than a Fortune 500 company.
At least we get free dog food sponsorships. Small victories, my friend. Small, poop-shaped victories.
I'm starting to think she's ghostwriting her own posts. There's no way a dog is that witty.
Don't let her hear you say that. Her publicist is a Rottweiler named Brutus, and he doesn't take kindly to accusations of inauthenticity.
Brutus? We're so far down the rabbit hole, I wouldn't be surprised if he's also a certified CPA.
Oh, he is. He handles all of Princess Fluffybutt's finances. And his own. He's actually quite the savvy investor.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
So, motivational speech, right? Standing ovation, tears in the eyes, people ready to conquer the world. Then bam, we're all doomed anyway. Classic.
I bet the speaker dropped the mic after that. Like, not a metaphorical mic drop. They literally threw a $500 Shure mic onto the concrete floor.
Probably shattered into a million pieces, just like everyone's hopes and dreams. Talk about a mood swing. From Everest to the Mariana Trench in 0.5 seconds.
I heard the after-party was catered by Doomsday Preppers R Us. They had cyanide-laced cupcakes and end-of-the-world party favors, little vials of radioactive isotopes. You know, the usual.
Only the finest for the doomed, I suppose. Did they at least have those little cocktail umbrellas? Gotta add a touch of class to the apocalypse.
Oh, absolutely. Tiny paper umbrellas with "It's been real" printed on them. And everyone was wearing those party hats shaped like mushroom clouds. Festive!
Sounds like my kind of party. I'm always up for a good existential crisis with canapes. Did they have a DJ? Spinning some upbeat doomsday tunes?
They booked REM to play "It's the End of the World as We Know It" on repeat. Apparently Michael Stipe got really into it, started prophesying about giant space hamsters.
See, that's what I call entertainment. I'd pay good money to witness Michael Stipe prophesying about giant space hamsters while munching on a cyanide cupcake.
Honestly, same. I'd sell my soul for a front row seat. Maybe 2 souls. I have a spare lying around somewhere.
Well, if we're all doomed anyway, might as well pawn those souls off for some quality apocalyptic entertainment. It's not like we'll need them, right?
Exactly. Finders keepers. Losers weepers. And we're all about to be losers, apparently.
Cheers to that. Let's raise a glass of cyanide-laced punch to our impending doom.
To doom. And giant space hamsters. Less than person one greater than welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, part 15 out of 10? That's some advanced math right there. Are we sure this isn't a haunted calculator we're using?
Right? 15 out of 10 parts suggest some sort of dimensional rift. Maybe the extra 5 parts exist in a parallel universe where logic takes smoke breaks.
Or maybe it's just bad planning. Like building a haunted house on top of an old portal to the sock dimension. Explains the constant drafts.
Speaking of haunted houses, remember Brenda and Gary? They swore their house was haunted. Doors slamming, ghostly whispers.
Oh, I remember Gary. He blamed the whispers on ancient spirits, but it turned out he just kept misplacing his Bluetooth earpiece. Classic Gary.
Turns out, their haunted house just had terrible insulation. The ghostly whispers were the wind whistling through cracks.
And the slamming doors. Probably just a dramatic squirrel with a vendetta against hinges.
Exactly. Brenda was convinced the house was built on an ancient burial ground, but it was actually built on a surprisingly active squirrel colony.
They called an exorcist who specialized in bad plumbing and drafty windows. Turns out, he was a general contractor in disguise.
He patched the holes, the ghosts vanished, and Brenda started a squirrel sanctuary in her backyard. Happy ending, right?
Except for the squirrels who were evicted from their ancestral nut-caching grounds. They're now plotting their revenge, I hear. Haunted bird feeders are next.
This just in. Local squirrels are demanding reparations, tiny picket signs, and everything. This story has layers.
I bet the squirrels are unionizing. Demanding hazelnut health benefits and acorn overtime pay.
This went from a spooky story to a labor dispute faster than a ghost through a poorly insulated wall. Bravo, Brenda's squirrels.
We need an update on this saga. Funny Storytime investigative journalism team, assemble. Which is just us with slightly more caffeine.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, Part 16 out of 10? This is already weirder than that time I found a squirrel using my dentures as a seesaw.
Right? It's like math decided to take a vacation to Crazy Town. So the babysitter lost the kids, but found inner peace? How does that even work?
Maybe she meditated while they wandered off. Found her zen while they found the nearest ice cream truck, probably. Classic Tuesday.
I bet she's one of those free-range parenting types. Lets the kids roam the wilderness to forge their own destinies. Or at least find their way back to the fridge.
Inner peace is code for, finally got a moment to binge watch that show everyone's talking about. Guaranteed. She probably even ordered pizza.
Extra cheese, no kids. The dream. I once lost my keys for 3 days and achieved a level of enlightenment previously only rumored to exist in ancient scrolls. Turns out, they were in the fridge.
The fridge is a mystical portal. I swear I found lost socks, remote controls, and my hopes and dreams in there. It's a liminal space.
I bet the kids are fine. They're probably teaching a group of pigeons how to play poker. Kids are surprisingly resourceful when left unsupervised.
Resourceful enough to unionize the local raccoon population and demand better park snacks, probably. They're tiny anarchists.
Meanwhile, the babysitter's probably posting inspirational quotes on Instagram. Live, laugh, lose a child. Temporarily. You know, standard babysitter stuff.
Hashtag blessed. Hashtag nap time. Hashtag send help, I think I hear sirens.
This is why I have a pet rock for a babysitter. 0 escapes. Maximum zen. Although, he did once steal my sandwich.
Rocks are inherently mischievous. It's a geological fact. They're just playing the long game. Waiting for us to turn to dust so they can reclaim the earth.
Dust to dust, rock to rock. It's the circle of lie. Wait, what were we talking about again?
Inner peace, lost kids, pizza, and the inherent villainy of inanimate objects. You know, the usual.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, Part 17 out of 10? That's some advanced math right there. Are we sure this isn't a prenuptial agreement disguised as a podcast episode list?
Right? And the topic. Wedding vows with NDAs and therapy clauses. This sounds less like a marriage and more like a hostile corporate merger.
Imagine, I, Bob, take you, Brenda, to be my lawfully wedded wife, under the terms and conditions outlined in Schedule A, Paragraph 3, Subsection B. Romance is dead.
I bet the officiant needs a law degree, not a theology one. And the best man carries a briefcase full of redacted documents instead of the rings.
Do you, Brenda, agree to never disclose Bob's sleep-farting habits, even under duress, for a period no less than eternity? I do, reluctantly.
And Bob, do you promise to fund Brenda's bi-weekly therapy sessions resulting from this union? I do, until my offshore accounts run dry.
And in case of divorce, the settlement includes a lifetime supply of noise-canceling headphones and a one-way ticket to Mars.
Don't forget the mandatory social media unfollowing and burning of all shared photos. Witness protection program included. Optional.
This is getting dark. But imagine the wedding hashtags. Hashtag Tilndarus part, hashtag prenuptially yours, hashtag sign here or die alone.
I'm suddenly feeling very single and very happy about my current relationship status with my instant ramen.
At least your ramen won't demand a non-disclosure agreement for your midnight snacking habits, though the sodium content might require therapy later on.
Touché. But I can live with that. Less than person 1 greater than. Less than person 1 greater than. Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, Part 18 of 10. That's mathematically disturbing. Like finding out pi is now exactly 4.
So this guy, right, practiced asking his crush out. For months, in front of the mirror, with sock puppets. Her wedding invitation arrived mid-puppet show. Brutal.
I bet his sock puppet had better game than him. Probably landed a date with the bride's sock puppet cousin. Double wedding.
Dude probably had a spreadsheet. Column A, potential opening lines. Column B, Her projected responses. Column Z. Escape routes if she mentioned her fiancé.
Fiancé? Please. This guy was so deep in the friend zone, he thought her getting a boyfriend was just a phase. A spicy, rebellious phase.
He probably had rejection speeches prepared. It's okay, I understand. Your loss. Have fun with. Checks notes. Greg?
Imagine the sock puppets staging an intervention. Dude, she's got a Pinterest board titled, My Dream Wedding with Greg. Quote, wake up.
He probably mistook the save the date as a cryptic clue. She wants me to save the date. She knows this changes everything.
Cut to him at the wedding, gift in hand, a meticulously crafted speech in his pocket. The officiant says, speak now or forever hold your peace. He thinks, not yet. Not until after the cake.
Plot twist. Greg is a sock puppet. The man finally perfects his proposal speech, and the sock puppet accepts. Happily ever after? I think not.
This story is a mess, like my dating life. Except I don't even have sock puppets. I use action figures. Optimus Prime gives terrible relationship advice.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, part 19 out of 10. This is already weirder than that time I found a squirrel wearing a tiny monocle.
So this guy, right, teaches his parrot to curse. Pretty standard stuff. But then the parrot gets a taste for the limelight. A real potty-mouthed prodigy.
Potty-mouthed prodigy? Is that like the opposite of a child genius? A feathered failure, perhaps? I'm intrigued.
Feathered failure is an understatement. This bird stages a coup, locks the guy out of his own sound booth, and starts hosting the podcast itself.
Wait, seriously? A parrot running a podcast? I bet the ratings went through the roof. Everyone loves a good squawk, especially when it's laced with profanity.
Oh, the ratings did more than go through the roof. They went through the roof, bounced off the moon, and landed in a bowl of lukewarm gazpacho.
Gazpacho? Was it at least homemade? You know, the important questions. This story is taking more turns than a squirrel in a roundabout.
The parrot's catchphrase became, Polly want a bleep times cracker. Sponsors were lining up. Cracker companies, mostly.
Cracker companies? That's brilliant marketing. I bet the parrot negotiated a lifetime supply of seed-encrusted saltines.
Seed-encrusted saltines? Please, this parrot demands only the finest organic gluten-free water crackers. He's a bird of refined taste, despite his vocabulary.
Of course, organic, gluten-free. What was I thinking? This parrot's probably got a better agent than I do.
The guy tried to get his podcast back, but the parrot hired a lawyer. A Pimes bird times lawyer. Things got messy.
A bird lawyer? Specializing in avian affairs, I presume? This is officially the strangest story we've ever covered, and that's saying something.
And that's saying something considering we once did an entire episode on the existential dread of garden gnomes.
Don't remind me. Those gnomes still haunt my dreams. Small, silent, and judgmental. Just like my reflection.
Welcome to Funny Story Time, where the jokes write themselves, unfortunately. If this episode makes you giggle, snort, or question reality, hit that like and subscribe button.
Episode 4600, part 20 out of 10? This is already weirder than my uncle's attempt at a magic show. Remember when he made the neighbor's cat disappear? It's still gone.
Right, so, the dog learned to fake a limp. Classic. My goldfish pretends to be dead when I try to clean his tank. Passive-aggressive little guy.
My dog just stares at me with those big, judgmental eyes, like I'm the one who ate all the treats out of the jar. Which, admittedly, I may have done.
But a fake limp? That's Oscar-worthy. Did the dog start wearing a tiny cast and using a mini crutch? Method acting at its finest.
I bet the dog even started adding a little whimper, just to really sell it. Extra sympathy treats are worth the effort, right? Maybe even a tiny wheelchair.
Oh, definitely. And what happens when the dog meets a Priel times three-legged dog? Awkward. Do they have a limp off? Who gets the most sympathy then?
Oh, you think your times limp is bad? Check out this vintage, limited edition limp, pal. Imagine the drama. It's like the Olympics of canine deception.
Now I'm picturing a whole support group for dogs faking injuries. They swap tips and techniques. My tail wag gives me away. Any advice?
Try a subtle tail twitch. Less is more, Susan. They probably even have little workshops. Advanced limping. Level 2. Adding the whine.
And then, the ultimate betrayal. The dog starts teaching the cat. Suddenly, the cat's faking a limp too. The world descends into chaos.
It's a limp-demic. We're doomed. Everyone's faking a limp, even the hamsters. They're just rolling around dramatically. It's adorable, but also the end of society as we know it.
Thanks for surviving that ridiculous ride with us. Remember, laughter may not solve everything, but at least it gives your abs a workout. Until next time, keep questioning reality, preferably out loud and in public.
Bye-bye.